Have you been scheduled for your naturalization interview and are you nervous and wondering what to expect? Hi, I'm attorney Megan Pastrana of Immigration for Couples, and my firm is dedicated exclusively to helping couples across the nation and across the world in navigating the U.S. immigration process. So let's dive in what you can expect on the day of your naturalization interview and what you should be prepared for in terms of documents and questions. So when you go for your naturalization interview, it's always important that you arrive early and be prepared to wait. It may take many hours for you to be called back. And they're actually, as I discussed in a separate video, doing oath ceremonies the same day. So you might be there for quite a while, but that's good news because that means you might be able to be a citizen that day. So make sure you have that whole day blocked for your interview. Once you are called back for your interview, you will sit across a desk, much like this one, with the officer on the other side. You will be called back to answer questions about your application and provide additional documents. When you enter the immigration officer's office, he or she will have you swear that you'll tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. They'll take updated biometrics information. So your fingerprint, they'll have a little fingerprint pad on the desk and you'll give updated fingerprints. The interview is recorded, which is sometimes it sounds nerve-wracking, but it's a little camera. You'll forget it's there. And it's good because it means that there's a memorialized record of that interview, verbal and video, or audio and video rather. And then after they get through those steps, typically the immigration officer will start the interview process then with the English and civics test. So for anyone going through the naturalization process, you have to answer civics questions about history and government in the United States. There's 100 questions that you're able to receive beforehand. You'll get those earlier in the process, right after you file your application. There's 100 questions, and you can get those online on the USCIS website. And of those 100 questions, the immigration officer will ask you up to 10 questions. And as soon as you get 6 right, they will move on. You will be approved for the civics portion of your test. Then there's an English test, and that English test is the interview itself, your ability to interact and communicate with the immigration officer in English. And then they have a little iPad on the desk with a little stylus, and they'll give you one sentence. They'll verbally tell you, you'll write the sentence, and then they will bring up a sentence on the iPad and you'll read it. And then that's the English test. So there are exceptions to the English and civics test. There's a 50-20 rule and a 55-15 rule and a 65-20 rule. That's the age of the person and how many years you've been a resident as to whether or not you'll have to take the entire process in the English language or whether or not you're having to do the entire civics test. At the end of the interview, the officer will let you know whether or not you've been approved. He or she will go through your application, your N-400 application, confirm all the information is correct. And then he or she will tell you if you've been approved. You will also have to provide evidence at that time when you're at the interview. So depending on whether or not you've been a resident for 3 or 5 years, you will also have to provide relationship evidence if you've only been a resident for 3 years. But the other evidence will really depend on the specifics of your case. And that will also be in your interview notice as to what you should take. And so once the officer gives you that decision, then you'll either have the oath ceremony that same day, or it will be mailed to you by regular mail, and then you will attend an oath ceremony separate. So it's a really quick overview of the naturalization process. I'll be making separate videos, and I also invite you to check out my website, immigrationforcouples.com, to learn more about the immigration process. Thanks for watching.